South East Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
My final guest this morning, Tony McEntee, the newly appointed CEO of Sam McCauley's. Since its establishment in 1953, the group has grown to 30 stores and employs more than 600 staff across the country. The company recently started a new chapter, which was signalled by a €50 million investment from Carlisle Cardinal Ireland. Tony joins me now to discuss his new role and what this development will mean for the group. Tony, you are entering the role at an excellent time as Sam McCauley's have just published very strong performance for 2016.
Yeah, the results were very good. Sam's had expanded the portfolio, which helped grow sales and helped grow the profitability. But from my perspective, I suppose it's a bigger challenge. It's easy to go in and fix something that's not working. Take on the legacy of what Sam and Patrick, the former MD, had created, which is a really fantastic Irish retail operation that is profitable, is a big challenge. But I look forward to it.
People have been saying around the county over the last number of weeks that Sam McCauley Group is no longer 100% family owned, and they're wondering who these new investors are.
Well, Carlisle Cardinal is an investment operation which is a mixture of Cardinal Capital, which is an Irish owned company, and Carlisle Investment Fund, an American based investment fund. Between them they invest clients' money, a big part of which is money from the Irish State ISIF, the Irish State Investment Fund. And with relation to the family ownership, Sam McCauley remains a significant shareholder in the business and remains on the board, and I'm looking forward to working with Sam over the years to come.
And Tony, as the newly appointed CEO, what is your vision for Sam McCauley's going forward?
Well, my vision is in line with the board's vision. We want to improve our offering, and even though that's challenging as it is, but we constantly strive to improve. What's good enough today is not necessarily good enough tomorrow, and the people of Wexford and everywhere else in Ireland can expect to see improvements in that regard. But also I think the thing is we have a platform from which we can grow significantly, and we would hope to be, within the next 3 years, probably double in the number of outlets, and maybe over the 5-6 year horizon be Ireland's leading pharmacy chain with probably in excess of 90 outlets.
And what will this takeover mean for the 600 plus staff across the country that are employed by Sam McCauley Chemists?
I suppose for starters, they now have an ownership structure which provides the capital to allow the business to grow. So that in itself provides great opportunities for people to enhance their careers, and they're working with a well-funded, very strong Irish business. Also, I suppose from a Wexford perspective, the platform of the business is driven out of the headquarters out there in Ardcavan, and it just means that we're going to have a very significant Irish retailer based in Wexford town, and that headquarters is the platform for the business right into the future.
And can you confirm that the HQ will always remain in County Wexford?
I can't confirm everything forever, but it's certainly, I'm in it for the next 5 to 10 years, and I expect to see it driving up and down from Meath to Wexford for that period of time.
That trek is going to take its toll on yourself, driving up and down from County Meath every day.
Well, I'm starting to get used to it. It's about an hour and 35 minutes. On a good day, it's an hour and 40 minutes. You may have to make sure you're off the M50 before the traffic starts to build up. So I tend to leave home sometime after 6:15. I'm in the office for 8 o'clock. It would be a great help if the Enniscorthy Ferns were bypassed, and then it would just make the journey a bit smoother.
Now, turning our attention to your brief as the CEO, where will you be focusing your energies over the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, the next 6 to 12 months is to make sure that our platform for growing the business, that we grow, is solid. We need to grow on solid foundations. So it's a great business. It's built up from one store in Enniscorthy in 1953 to 30 stores today. We just have to review all the process, procedures, the systems, information technology platform to make sure they're all fit for purpose, from which we can then add more stores fairly seamlessly, because the stores we'll be adding will be by and large doing the same things we do.
And how much of your time will be spent out on the road visiting stores to see how they're performing and to see opportunities for growth in those?
Well, my initial plan was to spend 4 days in the office, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the stores, and Thursday, Friday back in the support office. I've already, I'm afraid, let the staff down in that I said I would get to every store by the 31st of August. I have to learn the lesson to not get bogged down by the items that are going on the support office, but I will rectify that by the end of the first week of September. But the ideal would be out at least 1 day a week in store or looking for opportunities.
From Carlisle Cardinal's perspective, will they be seeking to obtain a return on investment through rationalisation or through growth? The
return on investment will be certainly through trying to improve what we do and sell more product to more people. and improve the service we offer people. But largely the big return will come from growing the business, building on the platform we have, and optimising the opportunity that's there, because I do believe there's going to be some consolidation in the pharmacy sector. Now, rumours of that have been going on for some time now, but it will come at some stage, and we expect to be very well positioned to avail of that opportunity.
Now, you mentioned earlier about consolidation within the pharmacy sector, and of course, yes, it has been spoken about for many years, but what do you think, when it does eventually come, is going to be the driver behind it?
I think what the big driver behind it will probably the HSE reviewing the fee structure, reviewing the returns from pharmacy will be a factor. The HSE, as everyone knows, has a battle on its hand to manage a budget of somewhere in the region of 15 to 16 billion. So they're always looking at areas to review that. They have two obligations when it comes to pharmacy. One is to provide a cost-effective drug regime for the people, but also it has to make sure that it's a constant and constantly available and as a secure supply. So they have to get the balance right between saving money and making sure that this is a reliable service out there. But one would have to expect that there will be some pressure on the fee structure.
Focusing on the growth through acquisitions, what criteria is applied when looking at possible pharmacies to add to the Sam McCauley Group?
Well, we're just finalising that at the moment, but we would certainly like to be growing strong retail pharmacy where the mix between what we do between dispensing and retail is in the 50-50 camp. Now, that's not saying we won't look at very strong dispensing businesses where retail is maybe only 25 or 30%, depends on the location, alternative. But in provincial towns, we would look to be a large retail pharmacy chain offering the premium brands that everyone in Ireland has a right to expect to be able to access, other than by popping in the car and driving up to Dundrum or to Grafton Street.
And do you think, from your knowledge of the sector itself, do you think that the opportunities are in the provincial towns or are they more city-based?
There are strong opportunities in significant provincial towns. Not every provincial town, but in significant provincial towns. I think the opportunities in the very large urban areas, principally Dublin, will be more along the strong dispensing businesses with a decent, strong retail offering, but a confined retail offering, because you are going to be adjacent to the very big department stores, whether it's Harvey Nicks out in Dundrum or whether you're in looking at Brown Thomas in town.
And have you done much research into seeing, is there many pharmacists out there due for retirement over the next 5 years, and how much of an opportunity that would create for you?
Well, we haven't looked at it in that regard. There's an awful lot of young pharmacists out there. I think there has been quite a transition from older pharmacies to a younger generation in the last number of years in any event. We would be looking for opportunities, as I say, with a very strong retail footprint. We would like to, there are some very good, in fact some super retail pharmacies in provincial Ireland where we think we could add real value to those, and we'd like to talk to people if they'd like to share their vision with us or share our vision with them. And likewise in some of the stronger or larger urban settings, we'd be looking at strong dispensing pharmacies where we can bring a extra range of services that a large group can bring.
And Tony, based on your experience with all care pharmacies, do you believe that Sam McCauley's is a franchisable business, and is it something that you'll be looking to explore?
There's a whole range of versions of franchising. I don't believe we'll be exploring it. We're there to grow the Sam McCauley brand and grow the Sam McCauley business as it stands, which is company-owned stores, and we have the capital and the wherewithal to do that. Maybe at some stage in the future we'd revisit that, but it's certainly not on the immediate agenda.
Now, talk to me about Sam McCauley's online presence. Is there an opportunity to maximise revenue in this particular space?
Certainly there's opportunity to grow. We have been online for a while. We've got some growth out of it. Not significantly. We would be looking at developing our online offering to be a much stronger omni-channel offering rather than just an online offering.
Now, I'd like to look at a few of the factors affecting the pharmacy industry in Ireland at present. Quite simply, are there too many pharmacies for the size of the market here?
Well, there are too many pharmacies for our liking. But
but isn't there twice the amount of pharmacies here in Ireland than there is in the UK based on population?
There are, yeah. I think there's a pharmacy per 2,500 people here. I think it's about 4,200 in the UK. So, yeah, there's a large number of pharmacies, and I suppose in every provincial town in Ireland you'll see probably more than one pharmacy. Where historically there was only one, you could see multiples of that. So, yeah, there probably are too many.
Now, another issue that must be facing you today is the recruitment of pharmacists, because many of them that are becoming qualified are going overseas.
Absolutely. We're facing the same problem that medical profession is facing, where young qualified professionals have decided that they want to expand their horizons. They want to go and work in Australia, they want to go and work in Canada, they want to work in the US. Young pharmacists are no different. Sam McCauley's business, which is largely a provincial-based business, though we have 2 stores in Dublin, suffers a challenge in terms of recruitment in that, young people at 24, 25, 26 are not necessarily ready to come and work full-time in Irish country towns. It is a challenge. It's certainly posing a challenge to us every day.
Are you going to overcome that particular challenge then?
We just have to make it more attractive in terms of the place to work. There's a limit to what we can pay, surely, but we can make it attractive. We can offer flexibility in the working pattern. Some of them might not necessarily want to work 5 over 7. They might want to work 3 long days, 4 days off, 4 days on, 3 days off. We will be flexible and provide a flexible working environment that fits their lifestyle rather than be absolutely categoric. It's our way or the highway.
And have you considered looking overseas with a view to attracting qualified pharmacists from other countries?
Well, we haven't gone overseas directly ourselves. There are a number of agencies who provide that service in terms of making sure the qualifications are appropriate and the work permits and things like that. So we have a mixture of Irish-trained pharmacists, Irish pharmacists who trained in the UK, and overseas pharmacists. I think we've recently recruited an Italian pharmacist in Waterford. But one of the potential challenges that, I'm sure the guys, David Davis and Bernier, are not considering is the difficulty in that an awful lot of the Irish pharmacists have trained in the UK, in Liverpool or in Newcastle or Sunderland, I think it is, in the last number of years. Now, what's the scenario for young Irish people who want to train in the UK? We just don't know.
Now, unlike many of the smaller pharmacies across the country, you're not so dependent on the HSE for medical card business because you have such a vibrant retail arm. But one of the big threats for that retail arm must be Amazon coming into the market.
Yeah, look, no matter what business you're in, the threats coming to the market is Amazon. Whether you're selling tractor tyres or selling retail products, whether it's in the beauty section or in just the health and well-being section. So yes, it's a challenge. So we have to up our game. We have to constantly up our game in terms of the service we provide and the offer we provide and the value that we provide our consumer.
But is it not, in a lot of respects, a commodity business? That people are looking for a specific brand and they will buy it wherever it's at the cheapest price?
No, I don't believe we've got to that point that it's a commodity business. We are selling in our big stores like here in Redmond Square, like Chanel, Lancôme, Clarence. We have consultants on each of those desks who really assist the customer. I don't think you can get that online. How do you explore a new product? We've got terrific people out there, and I think it's a personal service business.
But once somebody comes in and they get the expertise and the service on the Clarence type product,
yeah,
and it works for them,
yeah,
they don't need that expertise any longer, so they can order it anywhere.
There's a lot of new product coming. They need that, and unfortunately, time doesn't stand still. The product that suits you today may not suit you tomorrow or in a year's time or in 5 years' time. Age hits all of us. We have to get the full range of services and the product evolution that's coming with all these fantastic brands.
That's, of course, another challenge then that's posed to your own business, the fact that there is so many new products coming to market,
yeah,
and there is so many of them that just don't move off the shelves. So there must be a very high attrition rate.
There is a high attrition rate, and we have to be brave enough to try them. We have to be on top of market trends. Social media is huge in the beauty space at the moment. Various bloggers that promote various products. It's amazing if they blog about it and it suddenly starts to move. And if you're not aware of what's going on, you're behind the curve, and you have your customers coming in asking for some, and you're going, what? And, so we have to be, our buying team, our marketing team, have to be on top of that. And in fact, one of the great things about the growth that we're going to go through is it will allow us beef up our head office team and our support office team and buying and marketeers, so that we're much more in tune with what's going on at the marketplace at every age group.
Final question for you this morning, Tony, is a broader healthcare question, and it's around the HSE. If you were put into the HSE to run it tomorrow, what would you change?
I'd just run. I wouldn't go. It's extraordinarily difficult. You have a massive organisation with responsibility for an enormous budget across all sorts of aspects of social care. If you look at the various things they're covering, ideally, you'd have to stand back and look, would you start from where it is? But it is what it is. You have to work. The various sectoral interests there are enormous, from the medical professions to the trade unions to the government to public opinion. And I don't have any great view on any of those, but it makes it extraordinarily difficult to achieve change. And you get a minister then who's appointed for 3 years or 5 years, and what's his first job on getting elected is to think about getting re-elected. So the current model, I don't think, is hugely helpful towards building a long-term sustainable health service that we can all rightly be proud of. I think they do an amazing job as it is. If you go into hospital today and you are in a chronic condition, I promise you that from my experience and from what I've observed, there isn't anywhere better in the world to end up in hospital. Problem might be just getting in there. Yeah. But I think there's still great people delivering a great service.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.